You are now listening to Mike's Opinion, Logic Unleashed.
That's right. You are now listening to and watching the Mike's Opinion podcast. Thank you so much for doing so. You know I always want to know how you doing. How are you doing? First month of the 2024 year is almost over. You still sticking to those resolutions? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's no sweat. It's all good. You can always reset February 1. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the next week and then reset. You know, stop eating, stop smoking, work out, stop drinking, whatever you was going to do. When the first of the year, I'm gonna do it, and then like the 10th day came and you fell off, and you just don't worry about it. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's okay. We're human, right? And that's the definition of humans. We mess up all the time. I'm only human, born to make mistakes. Yeah, I know you didn't want to hear me sing, but I did anyway. Ha! But not real talk. I hope you're doing all right. I hope you're doing okay out there, and that I hope 2024 is off to a good start for you. It's getting better. For me, I can't say that it's not. One day at a time, trying to build some momentum. As far as my podcast is concerned, this April will be 4 years. I am not a household name. I have not made one red cent. And you say, yo, Mike, then why are you doing it? Not because I like to hear myself talk. No. For those of you that follow me, first of all, thank you for doing so. I always appreciate you. But if you're new to the pod, you just happen to click and you're checking me out, I do it because, there's several reasons. It's multifaceted. For one, it's therapeutic for me. Two, I'm like, I'm a persistent, dedicated dude. When I say I'm going to do something, I pretty much stick to it, and I like doing it. I guess it's a little vanity. I like saying you have a podcast, which I don't really say it to many people, quite frankly. My wife, who I love dearly, who doesn't like me mentioning her, but I'm mentioning her anyway because this is my damn podcast. She can get her own podcast and not mention me if she want one. But hopefully she's going to join me in the future. She says she was, but because that's my most popular podcast when she was on. She hasn't been on since I started, doing video. But you know, having a pod for me is like a way of contributing positively to the world. Now, I'm approaching 7,000 downloads, which some people get that in, much more than that in one episode. There's a lot of people that were already popular that are in the podcast space. I wish if you was already famous, I don't even think you should have a pod. But is that hate? Is that hate? No, I'm not hating. I'm just saying, it is what it is. So for a person like myself who doesn't do gossip or niche, just like one topic, it's been a challenge for me to find some level of success and without any marketing, really. Like I'll throw a couple of videos up on, Twitter or whatnot, but I don't have a big social media following. So if you want to help, you can. You can like, share, comment, follow, subscribe. You can do that all over the place. You can throw me a few dollars. The Venmo, PayPal, Cash App is out there. Just look in the show notes. I can help, have a marketing budget, or in kind. If you're a social media influencer, or you have some clout or some marketing expertise, and you want to, give that in kind, lend that to the Mike's Opinion podcast, that would be greatly appreciated. I just I'd like to think that my lineage, my family tree, my kids, my grandkids, their grandkids, and so on, will have some insight into who Grandpa Mike was, great Grandpa Mike was, and that's one of the real reasons why I do this, just so you can see who I am, the good, the bad, and as my wife would say, sometimes the ugly. because she don't agree with a lot of stuff that I don't say a lot, but some of the stuff that I say. So that's really what this is about. And this is why I keep churning on with the Mike's Opinion podcast. I like offering my opinion and sharing my worldview with you. You know, the people that watch this. Like I said, 7,000 downloads. It's not all the same people. So there's some people watching, you know, but I'm not, you know, clickbait. You're not going to get kittens or somebody fighting or something on fire or, you know, gossip, or me talking bad about people. So that's just what this is. I like to think I'm for the NPR crowd, for my bookworms, for my intellectuals, for my people that like edutainment. And, you know, if I blow up and can generate revenue from this and affect the world positively, that would be great. If not, this is just going to be what it is. This is what it is. So that's why I'm doing this. I want to affect the world positively. But today is the world famous update episode. It's where I find different things that have caught my eye and, you know, that are recent. And of course, I give my opinion on those things. And first up is something that was very, very popular. You know, and like I said, I don't do fluff or gossip, but this is loosely based on that because this was Katt Williams. And if you haven't seen Club Shay Shay, shout out to Shannon Sharp and his Club Shay Shay episode with Katt Williams. You know, once again, Shannon Sharp, already famous commentator, football player, sports commentator, you know, was capitalizing on that. It seems like everybody has a podcast. Do you have a podcast? Hit me up. We could do an episode together. But Katt Williams, who, you know, I thought about this when I wrote him down in my notes if I was going to say the following statement, but I decided to say it. I have a new found respect for Katt Williams. And I was reluctant to say that because prior to watching that interview, you know, I'm not like a fan dude, right? I grew up in New York City. I've hung out and partied and know some famous people. So, you know, they put their pants on one leg at a time like I do. So I'm not like awestruck. They just other people that just happen to do what they do for a living. And fame comes along with that. Doesn't impress me. And I'm not trying to take anything away from them because if that's what you want is fame, I don't really want fame. I did the video thing only because it's the next progression. I could have kept this as an audio pod. Frankly, I don't really need any recognition. I don't want to be out somewhere like I gotta get your autograph or nothing like that. But that's not what I crave. If it happens, fine. You know, but I had viewed Katt as you know, based on his looks, and I hate to really admit that. I had that shallow assessment. You know, he was always like pimped down, and you know, he looked like a little druggy. And I just thought he was another random comedian, you know, that found success because he was funny. And but you know, that's how I judge him, and I was clearly incorrect. So you know, I can't say I've said anything bad about Katt publicly. So I don't really owe him an apology, but that is how I viewed him. That view has changed for me since I saw that Club Shay Shay Shannon Sharp interview with Katt Williams. And I say that because um, dude is apparently highly intelligent. So much so that at a very young age, he was accepted into some prestigious science institute. He's known as an avid reader. He went out into the world at a very young age and made it on his own. To me, I didn't know his story. So learning that, and I wasn't even going to watch the interview, to be honest with you. I don't, like I said, that kind of stuff don't really entertain me. But it was like I'm up all times of the night, right? It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm having some munchies, and I keep seeing people responding. I saw Ice Cube respond, Ricky Smiley. I saw um, Steve Harvey. I saw all these people responded. So it did make me curious. So it came up on the feed, and I said, it's a full interview. So I said, all right, let me watch it. I was compelled to watch it like almost to the end. And the things I learned about brother, it's really hard not to be impressed if everything he says is true about his life. He seems like an honest, God fearing dude, a very generous dude. So, yo, Katt, if you ever see this, shout outs and big ups to you for being you, basically, and surviving. Um, and living, seemingly living in truth, standing in truth, which is what I'm all about. Truth. And my mother, God rest her soul, may she rest in peace. You used to always tell me, yeah, you could be honest, but you could package it a little bit, package it a little bit better, because I speak honestly and forward and how I want it. And a lot of times, sometimes it comes across hurtful. And I don't mean any, disrespect or hurt, but that's how I want it, raw and straight. And that's how I give it. And sometimes that's not received as well as I'd like it to be. And I think the same thing goes with Katt. He was taking shots at Cedric the Entertainer, Faison Love, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey. This seems like the main four he was going at, but he threw shots at like Puff. Like he was just going at it. Now I'm thinking to myself, he got a tour coming up. I always question: is this fluff? Is this marketing? Is this to get a buzz going? But this ain't the first time he's done this. And he talks about how many times he's been arrested, and we've seen him fighting Target employees and little kids on the basketball court. There's a video recently, him going at this talk show host, I believe in Atlanta, and her husband pulling a gun, allegedly pulling a gun and chasing him down the block. So he's no stranger to the drama and the controversy, but he claims he don't mess with the hard drugs. He smokes weed. He adopted like 7 kids or 5 kids or something like that. Like I said, based on the information that I learned, if all those things are actual facts, like I said, I see Katt in a new light. And I wanted to start off the pod with that in this update episode and just advise you, you know, um, and I don't know Katt. I'm not Katt Williams. I'm not advocating for him, but it's worthwhile watching that interview. It really is. And I have found, some of his specials. I found Katt funny. He's funny. He's entertaining. He's funny, and so big ups to Katt Williams. Um, so I'm gonna do this next subject I'm about to broach is something I'm going to do. I was going to do a series on it, but that might be too much. But I might do a double episode on this. But I just wanted to chime in so I could put it in the title so I can maybe start getting some feedback. And if you ever want to reach out to me, Mike's Opinion Show at gmail.com, please do so anytime. It's open 24 hours and you can just chime in and, I will respond to you personally. And until I get too big, where it's too many emails, which that is definitely not the problem right now. So if you hit me up, I will respond. You can respond on any of the socials, YouTube, anywhere, or send me an email directly, Mike's Opinion Show at gmail.com. So, but the title, when I was writing my notes for this episode, says idiots bringing down the prices of sports cards and other collectibles. Now, like I said, I'm going to do a whole episode on this because this requires, some depth. One of the businesses I'm in, or that I have and that I own and run, is in the antiques and collectibles space, and I am heavily weighted in sports cards. One's because I didn't really know that I'm a collector, but I like them. I'm not a sports dude per se. I watch football. I really don't watch any NBA or baseball or anything else, but I like football. I'm a bit of a barbarian. My brother from another mother calls me I'm from Norway. He says I'm a Viking, and because I like to eat, drink alcohol with no chaser and blah 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 blah. When I do drink, anyway, I'm a man. I'm not afraid to be that. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but I'm looking for that Mickey Mantle rookie, that Jackie Robinson rookie. I'm looking to get money. And I enjoy the hunt. It's like a modern day treasure hunt. I sell a variety of other things, and trade and buy and sell these things as well. But um, and by the way, on that note, if you are a listing professional, if you know how to list items quickly, like I can send you 100 pictures, and you can fill out the description, and even the pricing. I can give you a range on different platforms, and you're proficient at that. And you can either let me pay you in future profits or give you some equity, or you are extremely reasonably priced and good at what you do reach out. Mike's Opinion Show at gmail.com or anywhere the social, slide into my DMs and let me know, and we can work together. That's one of my number one challenges is listing. It's time consuming, and I need to delegate that. I need to farm that out. And I have the inventory, so I'm going to keep you busy for as long as you're willing to stay busy. But so I perfected the buying portion of this, and I've been in this for quite some time now. And I get cards graded and the whole nine. So I have watched idiots, and that might be a little harsh. I know, but it seems that way. I've watched what I feel is beyond normal fluctuation. And it really started with the onset of the pandemic when everybody was home. People was digging in the crates, digging in the attics, checking stuff out and realizing they can make money with these collectibles, comic books, sports cards, stuff like that. And the market got flooded. At the same time, it seems like the producers and manufacturers of these cards increased their manufacturing. There's increased interest. So it seems right, that they would increase their production so they can sell more cards. So I get it. There may be a million of this particular card, but there are people selling cards, mostly, especially particularly graded cards, PSA, SGC. There's a bunch of different graders, out there. Beckett, out there now, and those are some of the major ones. PSA still, I think, PSA still dominates the game when it comes to grading and resale value. And this is not an ad for any of them. I'm not getting any money. I'm not sponsored by any of these people, or entities or businesses. But these people are selling it for a loss. If it costs, $15 to get a card graded, just graded, not included shipping round trip and the price it took to acquire the card, and they're selling it for $10, they're losing money. And this is why I say they're idiots. It is Mike's opinion that we all, sellers of sports cards and other related collectibles, need to raise the game, raise the prices. But there are many people out there that are eager, so desperate to get a sale. And there are those that deal in quantity, right? They're about to churn. So I guess at the end of the day, they are profitable, you know, and there are a lot of cards out there that are selling for big money. There's cards that sell out there for, the average $100, $200, $300, but there are cards out there selling for thousands. And I'm also in that Pokemon space. There are Pokemon cards out there selling for $1 million. There's some sports cards out there, one-of-ones that are selling for, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I don't mind being in the game. I've been blessed and lucky my whole life, and I hope to continue to do so. And I've got some really good inventory. I'm in the process of now re-upping my membership with PSA. Um, and CGC for the comic book space, and I'm about to really up my participation. If you want to know where I sell at, if you are interested in any of my particular inventory, if you are one of those collectors or perhaps investors, you should definitely reach out to me. Again, that's Mike's Opinion Show at gmail.com or anywhere Mike's Opinion podcast or Mike's Opinion or on any of the socials. You can find me. Also, all the links in my show notes. So you don't have to memorize it. You could just look in the show notes wherever you happen to be listening. If you're watching on YouTube, you can just look in the show notes in the notes there and the information that's listed there. So there is a whole episode coming on that. And I know for any of y'all that follow me, especially if you've been doing so for a long time, and you say, "Yeah, Mike, it's coming like that UFO series is coming." It's coming. I know. I know. I haven't given up on it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it out, and it's going to happen. He's like, "Man, you've been saying that for 2 years." Yes, I understand that. Your patience, greatly appreciated. Moving on. Yo. So if I record Tuesday. Well, technically it's Wednesday morning, and I drop Wednesday. I drop every Wednesday at noon Central Time, and that's usually when you can find a new episode. And there's today is Wednesday the 24th when I'm dropping this episode, 24th of January 2024, and the New Hampshire primaries just ended. And it's news that Trump won the New Hampshire primary and beat Nikki Haley. Wow. Was anybody surprised? Why is anybody wasting their time, money, effort, and energy trying to go against who is definitely going to be the Republican nominee, Donald Trump, and who is going to be the Democratic nominee, Joe Biden? I mean, Dean Phillips and Marianne Williamson on the Democratic side, not to mention any of the independents, they don't have a chance. The name recognition, plus we just lazy. We Americans, we lazy. We don't want to do the research on people. It's just whoever is in front of our face. And Trump has a solid, undeniable, ravenous, rabid base who believe he should be president right now in his second term. So, to me, it was no surprise. I don't think to anybody it was a surprise. I guess some people thought because he's been indicted, because he's got so many cases and he's facing prison and financial ruin. Well, I don't know about financial ruin, but a serious financial debt, or dent rather, that but there have been interviews, there's been people at these polling places that catch people coming out, and many people have said they will continue to support and will vote for Donald Trump, even if he is convicted. That's dedication. That's riding for your people. That's ride or die. And, even though I can never vote for Trump, listen to a couple past episodes, my whole Trump history and Trump kicking it with my moms and blah, blah, blah. But, you have to, for me, view two things. One, the stamina of Trump handling the drama and the tension that he has been dealing with. But two, his base. The dedication of his base is impressive. They are truly the definition of ride or die. They don't care what he says, does, what happens to him. They want him in that office, and I I'm not going to be surprised if he wins in November and is our next president. Like I said, listen to my episode the previous episode or episode before that, and you'll understand because I dived a little bit deeper into that subject, the political subject, the presidential election, upcoming presidential election in November. But who you going for? Hit me up, Mike'sOpinionShow@gmail.com. Let me know who you going to vote for, and if you don't mind, tell me why. Tell me on the socials. Let me know. Because it's either Biden or Trump. Who you for? Who are you for? Are you not going to vote at all? You can't even vote for either one of the lesser of the two evils. All right, so this next subject, I don't know. Are you a Fire Stick person? Are you a Google, like a box, an Android box person? No, are you skirting the system? Did you cut the cord? Because this next, I wasn't even going to add this to the update episode, but I had to because it made me think about my whole feelings about this subject. And you say, "Yo, Mike, what's the subject?" The subject is it's really cable television. And yes, you see the gray hair? I'm old enough. If you don't know, if you young enough and don't know what I'm talking about, don't know what cable television is, and you've been, streaming your whole life, what's cable? What's that? I'll be more than happy to inform you. But I read an article. I didn't read the whole article. I didn't need to. Netflix in this last quarter just signed up 13 million new subscribers. And you go, yo, was it that many people that didn't have Netflix? Yes, a lot of it was in Asia and Europe, but they have now exceeded the 230 million subscriber mark. And considering there's a world of 8 billion plus people, that really, and they got a quarter billion, they got a lot of households to get to. Either that or people just don't have TV or can't afford that. I don't know. The cheapest one I think is like $6.99. Again, this is not an ad for Netflix. They're not paying me a cent. Nobody is. Support the show, please. But I found that a little surprising only because I thought they had saturated the market, but then I thought about it. They had just come down on password shares, right? So they said that a lot of those new 13 million subscribers were people that finally coughed up that money to get Netflix. Now, full disclosure, I was riding my father-in-law's Netflix. Wifey hit up Pops. Was like, yo, can we get you Netflix? He said, yeah. I was hitting up my sister for her HBO Max and her Disney Plus. Because look, if you get a subscription to, let's say, what's the top five? Disney Plus, Hulu, what I say, of course, Netflix, HBO Max, and there's Paramount. I mean, no, Peacock. There's all these ones. That's just like five that just come off the top of my dome, right? You are going to be paying more than you used to pay for cable. You could got cable for under $100, and I had all the joints, right? I had Cinemax. You know what I'm saying? HBO, TMC. I had all the channels, right? So I applaud those cord cutters, those Fire Stick people that know how to do the Fire Stick thing, those Android box people, because I have nothing against actors and all of the people associated with producing these movies and shows. Okay. I was gonna say it's a noble profession, but is it? Is it? We admire it like it is, but playing dress up and playing somebody else, some fake life, it's entertaining. Don't get me wrong. I'm different. I guess I'm just a bore. I like documentaries and things that educate me while they entertain me. And I'm not one of those people that are starstruck because they just human. They just did acting. Maybe they touched me. Maybe they moved me through their performance. But don't we all act to a certain degree? We all act. I've had 9 to 5s, and 9 to 5, you somebody else when you go to that job. You can't be the real you, right? When you go to church, when you're out in public, that ain't the real you. Like talking to somebody the other day, we talking about dating. When you first meet somebody, when you first start dating, that person meets your representative. That's your best person. It takes like getting into a relationship till you start farting and belching and all your bad habits come out and who you really are comes out. And some people that shit don't come out till later. And the worst part of that is the worst. There's a horrible worst side of that. Worst case scenario, people find out they had a whole nother life, or that they had people in a dungeon downstairs, crazy shit, right? That you think he was a model citizen. You didn't know the real person, or at least a real part of that person. You know what I'm saying? So um I'm saying all that to say that should these actors get millions of dollars? Same thing with these sports guys. Should they get millions of dollars? That's why beer is $9. Yes, I digress. I digress. I digress. This is what I do. But it's all connected. So um the gross amounts of money. Like, how do we measure a movie's success? The first week, we measure the box office performance, which equates to how much money did they make. That's how we measure the success of a lot of things here in the United States of America. That's really all we're concerned about. How much money did it make? So for me, these cord cutters, these these Android boxers, these Fire Stick users, I applaud them. Yes, I do. You say, yo, Mike, they're thieves. Are they? Are they? Are they not the thieves that put on a dress and put a camera and a light and say some moving words or give a good performance, but want to charge you $20 to see it? Huh? Huh? I don't know. But I just wanted to chime in on that and just say, bring cable back. Bring it back. One flat fee for all of it. And you know it's coming, right? Have you noticed? Have you noticed all the cell phone companies are offering these streaming services for free? Like, sign up for XYZ Mobile. I'm not saying their names. For XYZ Mobile Company, and when you get your cell phone, we'll throw in this streaming service and this streaming service. You see where it's headed, right? If you don't, let me be the first to tell you. Either the streaming services are going to buy the cell phone companies, or the cell phone companies are going to buy the streaming services. They're going to merge into one, because it's almost that already. It's almost that already. So it's going to be more than a pairing, more than a partnership. It's going to be like, look, we keep offering your services along with ours. How much you want? We just going to buy you. So one day when you see T-Mobile Disney, you'll know, or Disney Mobile, because they're going to buy T-Mobile. And you're going to get Disney Plus, and they're going to give you a phone with your streaming service. So it's I think it's inevitable. They try to keep these antitrust laws, these conglomerates, but one-stop shops. But that's where it seems like it's heading to me. It may take 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but that's where it is headed. Either that, or they're going to start doing package deals. Right now, everybody's competing against each other. It's Hulu against Netflix, against, they're all trying to get the popping shows and the best shows, and trying to get you to sign up. And I see them coming to, somebody's going to make them an attractive enough deal so somebody can offer a bundle, which is really going to be cable, right? If for one price you can get Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus, boom. Then the other one's going, pair up. So it's just gonna happen. I'm old enough. I remember when home box office started. They say, "Yo, Mike, what the hell is home box office?" You know it as HBO. I'm old enough. I remember when there was no HBO. I remember when TV went off. I wish we bring that back. Let's shut it off. Can we shut it off? I remember when all businesses was closed on Sunday. It was peaceful. It was quiet. Can we do that? Can we shut down Earth for one day a week, at least a couple days a month? Just shut it down, just like the pandemic did. Everybody just stay home. No planes, trains, automobiles, none of that. Just shut it all down. Everybody stay your ass home. Let's just shut off all electricity. No internet, no nothing. Let's just be quiet. Read a book. How about that? Anyway, you say, yo, Mike, you old. You old. You just old. You know, well, the future is hardwired and always on. And I'm not sure that that's good for human beings. Moving on. I always like to end on a good note. And this update app may be a little bit shorter than normal. I don't even know where's my time. I don't know how long I've been going today. But I always like to end on a good note. And I don't know if you heard. I don't know if you smoke weed. I don't know how you feel about it. I used to smoke weed. I don't anymore. I used to smoke a lot of weed, especially in my younger years. So I'm an advocate. It's a plant, it's an herb, it's organic and natural. It has properties that I feel enhances one mood and being. And worst case scenario, it's going to make you eat up some stuff and go to sleep. Okay? That's my stance in case you wanted to know. POTUS, the president of the United States, Joe Biden, 4 days ago, just pardoned everybody if you happen to have a weed conviction, a federal weed conviction for possession, not possession with the intent to distribute, not if you have a driving charge that involves marijuana, but if you strictly are in federal prison for possession, if you ain't heard, if you have not been told, you are pardoned. Now you have to get with your attorney or your people, and you need to file some paperwork with the Justice Department. But President Biden said, here's a get out of jail free card to everybody, including not just Americans, but if you weren't here and you weren't a native and you got your green card and you're a legal resident of the United States and you got caught up on some Fed shit. So I thought that was good news because the FDA has now admitted that cannabis is much more like Tylenol than it is heroin. Because if you don't know, heroin, cocaine, and marijuana are still federally classified as Schedule 1 drugs. Worst place you can be, harshest penalties. And this is why a lot of these, even though I think 38 states total, 24 states have recreational marijuana, and up to 38 states have medicinal. It's still hard as a cannabis company to acquire credit card processing companies, where you can take credit cards. They don't want to mess with you because they feel it's still Schedule 1. The feds could just retract that anytime. So it's risky. There are companies that will, but it's just not widely accepted as if, like you open a supermarket or something like that. So along with this nationwide pardon for possession of cannabis is the possible, the beginnings, the onset of reclassification of cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, which would be huge for some of the reasons that I just mentioned. If you don't know, weed is not like cocaine. It is not like heroin. It is not a hard drug. Psilocybin, psychedelic mushrooms. I think, you do too much of anything, eat too much oregano, it's probably not good for you, right? You could have too much air. You could drink too much water and die. Like literally. So this war on drugs, which was a farce, in Mike's opinion, and potentially, or most likely, or was, or is a reason to lock up black and brown people, needs to come to an end. Should have a long time ago. Now, for those of you that follow me and know, I am born and raised in New York City. I live in Dallas, Texas. I'm saying that to say Texas has not decriminalized marijuana for medicinal use or for anything. Our neighboring state, Oklahoma, has and is generating mad tax revenue and doing well. Texas and its I'm really reluctant to call them leaders, but the governor and them, this will be the last state, among the last states to make marijuana available in any capacity, medicinal or recreational. These are staunchers. They're just staunch in their beliefs, and I'm just gonna leave that there. But it is what it is. So, yo, Mike, you still live there? Yes, I do. The cost of living is less than on either of the coast, and I can't say Texas has been bad to me, from certain perspectives. So, but in terms of that area, they just not open-minded enough or cool enough, and they are going to have to be forced to make it legal here in the state. And even if it got legal at the federal level, which I think they need to do, Biden really wants to win this election and earn some points. He can get every weed smoker in the nation if he just removes cannabis from every schedule, make it federally legal, legalize it. Now, there's many countries that have gone much further than that. They've legalized all drugs. Okay, if people want to get high and do what they want to do on their own business, as long as they don't interfere with the public and cause any problems, then go get high. That's your life. Do what you want to do. But I thought that was a bit of good news that I just learned about, And ironically, I didn't find that story in any of the major news networks. I find that a bit curious, don't you? So if you have a friend, a relative, if you happen to be locked up in the Fed and you listening to the Mike's Opinion podcast, first of all, thank you for doing so. I appreciate you. But yo, if you were jailed, if you were imprisoned at the federal level for just possession of marijuana and you didn't know, write, call, text, email, whatever you need to do, start that ball rolling so you can get the fuck up out of there. Because the president said, get out of jail free. Here's this card, get out. You don't need to be locked up for that no more. So that's the update for the day. It was relatively brief. I didn't have a bunch of controversy. I threw this together relatively quick. Because I forgot it was Tuesday. I was like, oh, it's Tuesday. I was working with some sports cards. I was sitting there today. I was like, it's Tuesday. It's pod day. It's pod day. I know I need to do better. Right? I need to prepare better. Shoot me some ideas. You want to be on the pod? Holla at me. Mike'sOpinionShow@gmail.com. Any of the socials, do that. I welcome anything if you want to see me talk about. But like I said earlier, that episode about sports cards, collectibles is coming up because we only hurting ourselves by dropping these prices beyond what the collectible is worth, frankly. You know what I'm saying? But I hope you are doing okay. I hope you're doing better than okay. I hope you're doing great. If you're not, find a pathway to okay. Seek help if you need help. Talk to somebody if you need to talk to somebody. And you can find that better day, that better life is in reach if you start that process. You know what I'm saying? Like, share, follow, comment, subscribe, do all of that, contribute to the show any way you can. I would greatly appreciate it. I always thank you for listening and for watching. I'm Mike. This is the Mike's Opinion Podcast.
Thank you so much for listening to Mike's Opinion. Logic Unleashed.